many people asked me before where if I had any formal training in guitar playing or vocal. Um, I never really had any training in either. I wanted to learn how to play guitar after watching Jenny Emery in concert on Bowen Island when I was like 17 years old or about that. And about a year later, I joined the school's beginner guitar band, where we learned some simple chords and some simple starter songs, but it never went beyond that. So with the rest of it, I pretty much have to make it out as I go. Uh, in the beginning, I was always pretty perturbed that my music teacher wouldn't teach me more advanced stuff, but he always said to me, he said, when you can play guitar really good, all you need are a few chords. You don't need a lot of chords, just these 4 or 5 chords, and you can do almost any song. And back then, that sounded like a really lame kind of excuse to me, not just like an excuse so he wouldn't have to teach me anything, and sounded almost like the kind of thing Yoda would say. Uh, know your chord, and good at guitar and little chords you need. Something really zen like that. It's not until many, many years later that I really understood what he meant. Uh, Once you can put yourself into music, into the flow of your song, you don't really need a lot of fancy chords. Of course, if you know them, that's good. But if you don't, you can make do with very simple stuff. Today, I want to give you an example here. Um, One of the beginner songs I learned back then was Banks of Ohio, a little sad murder kind of song. Uh, and back then the chords were really, really simple and really sounded really boring. I'll do the first verse as the way I learned it back then, um, so you guys get an idea what I'm talking about. It starts with this D, and all you do is strum it. I asked my love to take a walk with me, just a little way. And as we walk along, we talk of when will be our wedding day. And shall we say that you'll be mine? And in our home we'll happy be, down the side where the water flows, down by the bank of the Ohio. And after you do like 2 verses of this, you get really, really bored. After doing the basic chords for a while, most of us started playing around with rhythm. Rhythm strumming is one of the next step to basic chords. So rather than the boring, now we might do a little bit different rhythm. And after that, I started realizing that I don't have to use my thumb for strumming. I can actually use my fingernail, which produce a more crisp kind of sound. Like that. So, take the same song, we'll do the next verse with this new found technique. I pushed her in and watched her drown. I watched her as she floated down. I killed the girl, the one I love, because she said she'd not marry me. And shall we say that you'll be mine? In our home we'll happy be, down the side where the water flows, down by the bend of the Ohio. It adds a lot more to the song when you start to add that kind of characteristic to it. Different rhythms, different combinations of chords, but the basic chords are still the same. And almost a year after I started learning basic guitar, I started experimenting with loose chords, which solid chord is very simple. You just do the fingering and then do one strumming motion and you get a uniform solid chord. Loose chord is much more difficult, but in the same time much more versatile. So we take that same chord, we can do different things like there's endless possibilities one can do from loose chords. And so we'll do the last verse of the song using loose chord. The sheriff came with men and gun. He said, "My son, you're coming with me. Don't try to run, 'cause you will die here by the riverside." Shall we say that you'll be mine? In our home we'll happy be, down the side where the water flows, down by the bend of the Ohio, down by the bend of the Ohio.